Carlson has a bone to pick with the CIA, but his issue with the agency has less to do with how it works to topple democratically elected leaders in various countries, and more to do with the fact that he thinks the CIA has become too woke in its marketing campaign. And you know what? He kind of has a point, which calls for Brett Ehrlich's special segment from Happy Half Hour. Everybody in this story sucks farts.
Everyone in this story sucks farts.
Now, before I continue with the rest of the story, make sure you check out Brett's show, Happy Half Hour, on our Twitch channel. It's every Wednesday night at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Just go to twitch.tv/TYT for more information on that. But with that said, let's talk a little bit about Tucker Carlson's criticisms of the CIA. Now, as we've talked about before, the CIA and other government agencies have been trying to recruit new workers. And one of the ways that they do that is by making it seem as though the agency is very welcoming to a diverse workforce, right? Now, Tucker Carlson doesn't like diversity, so that's what he's decided to focus on in this segment. Let's watch, and then I'll tell you where he kind of has a point.
Apparently, the American intel community spent some of its diversity budget not to achieve diversity, but instead to buy a stock image from the website Shutterstock. The picture you just saw is entitled, quote, "Portrait of Multicolored Cultural Office Staff Standing in Lobby." Now, you could buy that picture too. You could put it on your next Christmas card if you wanted to, and maybe you should. But apparently the stock photo of multicultural office staff wasn't multicultural or diverse enough for the Biden people. So they inserted two other stock images into the picture. One of those stock images is also available on Shutterstock. You could buy that for your Christmas card too. It's called, quite literally, "Blind Young Man with Guide Dog on White Background," which is what it is. The other is entitled, again, quite literally, "Beautiful Businesswoman with Tablet Computer in Wheelchair on White Background." So those aren't really intel agents. They're stock photographs from the internet.
All right, so everyone in this story sucks. And the reason why I say that is because, look, the CIA, in its attempt to recruit a diverse workforce, right, a diverse group of people, relies on the same, in my opinion, cheesy marketing ploys. And yeah, the stock images are laughable, right? And people know that they're stock images. You don't need Tucker Carlson to spell it out for you. And so I get that they have to use stock images, because what are you gonna do? You're gonna use pictures of actual CIA agents for your marketing campaign? You can't do that, right? But at the same time, like, the CIA is an awful, awful agency and has done awful, awful things, especially earlier in the 1950s, through the 1970s, through various coups that were unfortunately successful. There was regime change that was backed by the CIA back in, regime change in Iran, specifically in 1953. Then you have what the CIA did in supporting regime change or pushing for regime change in Guatemala in 1954. I mean, just going in and destabilizing all these countries. Like, the CIA deserves harsh criticism for that, right? So Tucker Carlson doesn't care about that. Toppling regimes, he's all into it. Like, he's cool with that. But for him, it's like, they're too woke now. And that's what I'm gonna base all of my commentary on. Not just once, not just twice, but this is an ongoing segment. This isn't the first time he's touched on this.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting, ironic story, because there's a lot I agree with Tucker Carlson on this one. But then I'm gonna get to the points that are very important disagreements, okay? So number one, I'm with Anna too. Like, what is this picture? This is just silly, right? What are you guys doing? Like, you had to put on a blind person. Why? Why did you put the blind person in? Like you're trying too hard. This whole nonsense about, oh, well, the CIA is woke now. I believe you're woke when you stop assassinations and coups, okay? That's because that's substance as to what CIA does. This is propaganda, okay? What you're looking at there in that picture is actually, in a sense, classic CIA propaganda. Oh, we're wonderfully diverse. Now, and this newfound right-wing skepticism about the CIA and intelligence agencies, not so bad, okay? Now, it's very mixed in how it has showed itself now. So I'll tell you, the good news is you should be skeptical about the Pentagon and the CIA. They have a deep history of lying endlessly. And the mainstream media in this case is more wrong than Tucker Carlson. Mainstream media is like, CIA said it must be true. I bet that blind person and the wheelchair lady and that all those models in the picture are CIA. I mean, I could see MSNBC anchors repeating that endlessly. So now what? So that's all good news. And look, if you watch this show, I don't look to give a horse in the mouth. That's a funny way of putting it. So if the conservatives say yes to our agenda, I love it. If they're against war and they agree with us, great. Am I going to go over to conservatives to agree with their agenda? No, because I don't agree with them. That's easy, right? So if they want to fight corporate power, great, come on in. You're late to the party, but happy to have you. But of course, there's a second layer to what Tucker is saying. Diversity is bad.
Yeah.
And he said in that segment over and over again, he mocked how diversity is our strength, right? And is that a talking point among Democrats? Sure it is, right? But is it true? Yes. And so he thinks, no, diversity is terrible. Look at the assumption built into that. That if we just kept everything white and male, it would be obviously better.
Would it be better though? Especially if you're trying to, look, I have problems with the CIA, I just want to be clear about that. But for its purpose, right, in collecting intel, if you have a bunch of like white males collecting intel in various countries that aren't full of white males, wouldn't it be a problem?
Yeah,
isn't that
100%? And that's where I was going, Anna, right?
Yeah.
So he says diversity. First of all, their base assumption is white males are awesome, and if you try to bring diversity to something that is predominantly white male, you're obviously going to make it worse by definition. That is an insane and logically racist position. It is, you cannot escape that is a racist position, right? And so. But the second half of it is, especially for the CIA, how are you going to blend in Morocco? How are you going to blend in Southeast Asia, right? No, white males are always the best. Send them in right now to Cambodia, they'll blend right in, right? I mean, they're just such knuckleheads, it's so obvious, right? Now, finally though, there's something even more nefarious going on. So Tucker read this long Twitter thread the other day that a lot of the right wing loved and a lot of the fake left wing loved, okay? And it explained why Trump voters think the way that they do. And they gave so much credit to this. They're like, oh, brilliant. It's a brilliant analysis of why Trump people think they're, and it's not because they're racist. And then you read the thread, which I did, and it's totally racist all the way through. And it has insane conspiracy theories, like that the CIA worked with Black Lives Matter to organize the George Floyd protests because they're trying to do a color revolution inside America.
Obviously.
Cuckoo for cocoa. Yeah, the CIA has a long history of working with black activists in America and supporting them. That's likely, right? And just, I mean, no, people were not organically super pissed about a man being choked to death in front of our eyes. The CIA had to get him pissed, right? And then Black Lives Matter is funneling money to Joe Biden. They barely have any money. What money are they funneling to Joe Biden, right? And then the final one was about how, oh yeah, of course Trump lost all the cases because it's not because he didn't have any evidence about voter fraud. It's that the judges were scared of black mobs that were going to come and kill them. But no, Tucker's not racist. This fake left is not racist. The right wing's not racist. It's just that black people are the problem in this country and they're working with the CIA to, no. So if you're a right winger, your new skepticism about the CIA, good, keep that, okay? But the CIA generally works for, historically, giant corporations. People who want to take the oil of other countries, people who want to take the minerals of other countries, or even the fruits of other countries, literally bananas. That's why they're called banana republics. The CIA did coups on behalf of an American banana company. They didn't do it on the behalf of black activists. No, come on, how could you be that dumb? You can't be that dumb. Of course they work for moneyed interests, not for people with no money. You know that. Don't let Tucker lie to you. So yes, the segment's funny about the guy, the person in the wheelchair and the fake picture and stuff like that. But what he's trying to lead you down a road is, no, the CIA actually loves to work with the powerless now. Don't let him get away with it. Make sure you put the rich white people back in charge. Okay, if you can't see that that's a trick, there's something deeply wrong with you. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.